I never thought I was capable of this." This is the phrase I hear in my office more than any other. Welcome. Today, we are opening the most closed door in relationship psychology, the doorway into the mind of the one who betrayed. We are used to looking for the cause in a bad marriage, but over the next 24 minutes, we will see that the truth is far more complex. Today, we break down the story of Mark, who loved his wife but crossed the line anyway. We'll study the concept of searching for a new self and understand how deep childhood wounds dictate our scripts of betrayal. Prepare for an honest conversation without judgment. Act 1. The myth of the unhappy marriage. There is a dangerous misconception. If everything is fine in a couple, an affair cannot happen. Mark and Elena had been together for 12 years. They had trust, shared goals, and passion. In this first act, we dismantle the myth of the deficit. Mark wasn't looking for a replacement for Elena. He was looking for something he had lost in himself. For many, an affair is not a departure from their partner. It is a departure from who they have become alongside that partner. It is a rebellion against their own predictability. The burgundy light of mystery shrouds this stage. Everything seems normal, but inside, a need for something other is already ripening. Sound of rain. For Mark, his connection on the side was not a story about another woman. It was a story about him. With her, he felt different. Young, daring, unburdened. Psychologist Esther Perel calls this searching for another self. In marriage, we often become hostages to our roles, the good father, the responsible employee. An affair gives the illusion of returning those parts of the personality that we buried. The cold gray light of alienation here symbolizes how a person begins to see their familiar life as a black and white film. Mark didn't want to destroy his family. He wanted to feel the pulse of life again. The problem is that this pulse is artificial. It is a neurochemical heist. Act 3 reveals a darker side. There is a category of people for whom an affair is a natural right. This is the narcissistic pattern. They believe that their special contribution to the family gives them the right to a small compensation on the side. This is a position of moral exception. The red light here is a danger signal for empathy. At the moment of planning an affair, the cheater often switches off the ability to empathize with their partner. They see their spouse as an obstacle. To justify the betrayal, the brain begins to look for flaws in the partner. This is psychological self-defense. Where is the line between the search for happiness and basic selfishness? Ticking clock. In Act 4, we touch upon the most paradoxical motive, the fear of true intimacy. Sometimes people cheat not because there is too little love, but because there is too much. Deep intimacy is terrifying. It makes us vulnerable. Being completely seen by a partner is a huge risk, and then an affair becomes a way to sabotage this dangerous happiness. For Mark, his secret life was a safety valve. As long as he had a secret, he didn't belong to Elena completely. The conflict here is an iceberg. On top is the thirst for novelty, and below is the icy fear of being swallowed by another person. We use a third party as a buffer to avoid drowning in closeness. Strategic pause. Act 5. Escaping from time. Often, an affair is a rebellion against aging and death. When we realize that most of our life is behind us, panic sets in. An affair is an attempt to prove to oneself that I've still got it. Mark looked at his graying temples and saw a sentence. A connection on the side was an elixir of youth for him. The anxious red light here is the fire of a last chance. People throw themselves into an affair, hoping that passion will wash away the realization of the finitude of existence. But sex does not cancel death. It is only temporary anesthesia. We are running from the shadow of our own end. Heavy sigh. Act 6. Why is it so hard to stop? A secret possesses its own destructive magic. When Mark was playing a double game, his brain was constantly in a state of dopamine storm. The secrecy itself, the risk of being caught, all of this fuels the passion. Psychologists know that an affair often survives precisely because of the secret. The forbidden fruit is sweet not because of the taste, but because it is forbidden. Lying changes the personality. The cheater begins to live in a state of constant stress, which they mistakenly take for the sharpness of life. You become an addict of your own secret. Stripped of the romance, infidelity is a biological mechanism of exploitation. You are not in love, you are just high on the risk. Act 7, when the masks are dropped. Disclosure is a moment of psychological collapse. Here we see the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt is, I committed a terrible act. Shame is, I am a traitor. And shame often forces the cheater to attack the victim partner even more fiercely to protect their own psyche. The cold, gray light of despair fills this act. Life will never be the same. The cheater often finds themselves in isolation. We look at the price that has to be paid for searching for oneself. Shattered lives of children, a scorched field of trust. Can what is broken into dust be restored? It requires going through the hell of absolute honesty. The betrayal shatters the shared reality of the past. In Act 8, we answer the question, is it true that once a cheater, always a cheater? The answer is, not necessarily, but only if the person is ready for a total psychological reassembly. Change requires radical honesty, first and foremost, with oneself. You need to understand what hole in your soul you were trying to plug. The transparent gold light here is the light of awareness. We break down the stages of recovery, full acceptance of responsibility, readiness for the partner's long-lasting pain, and working with childhood deficits. If a cheater just says, I'm sorry, it means nothing. If they change their system of values, it's a chance. Infidelity can become a catalyst for a more honest relationship if you build it on the ruins. Strategic pause. Act 9. The philosophical choice. We have broken down the mechanisms and traumas. Now the ball is in your court. It is easy to judge. It is hard to understand. But to understand is not to forgive. To understand is to see the complexity of human nature. Mark and Elena are you and me at different moments of life. We are all capable of betrayal. The golden light of healing on the screen tells us the truth sets us free. We see their new reality, fragile but honest. The affair highlighted what they had hidden for so long. At the base of their new pyramid is sincerity. They have learned to be together without masks. The golden glow symbolizes the wisdom that is born from pain. Orchestra peaks. Now I am speaking personally to you. We have spent 20 minutes analyzing other people's secrets, but let's look into your heart. 10-second pause. What emptiness inside are you trying to fill with external things? What are you silent about next to the person you love? The psychology of infidelity begins long before the first kiss on the side. It begins with the first conscious lie to your partner. I challenge you. If you feel you are distancing yourself, stop. Take a breath and talk. Tell the truth, even if it destroys your cozy facade. This is courage. Your relationship is a mirror. If you don't like the reflection, don't break the mirror. Look at the one standing in it. I believe in you. You are capable of truth. As we conclude this 24-minute study, remember, an affair is not the end of the world, but it is the end of the world as you knew it. Your story can help someone else. We are building a community of people who choose awareness instead of lies. Your likes and shares help us carry this knowledge further. I am Maria, and I will be waiting for you at our new psychological deep dives. Remember, you are the creators of your own destiny. Take care of your inner truth. Until next time, be honest, be free. Final orchestral chord.